Back on, ladies and gentlemen, with pictures of Sonia Gandhi, the former UPA chairperson, who is now reached Parliament. So these are pictures of Sonia Gandhi arriving in Parliament for the photo op. And of course, the transition from the old Parliament to the new. There are so many stories, and politics has its way of playing out. Sometimes you're up there, sometimes down, the ebbs and flows, the peaks and troughs of everybody's political careers. But lots of nostalgia for her herself, from where she came, how she entered into the world of politics, the trials, tribulations, the turmoil for her, controversies, and of course the ups and downs, where the Congress party was, where the UPA was, where it is today, and of course the multiple challenges. And a lot of thoughts will be going through her mind too. And we have seen, like we had Pallavi, Arunima and Aman also talking about how she was perhaps one of the focal fulcrums. You know, the attention was all around what she is thinking, what she is doing, what she is saying. From that, today, the transition over the last decade, if we may say so, it's also something which politics does. You have ups and you have downs. Somebody who was down earlier now is on the up, and the roles have reversed. And there will be a lot of thoughts. You were talking about Sonia Gandhi herself, Pallavi and Arunima, that the UPA chairperson held such sway during those periods that everybody would look to her. Even today, a lot of the Congress party seniors, old-timers also look to her. She's just spoken there while entering the Parliament. Let's listen into what she had to say, and then we'll go across to Aman, Arunima and Pallavi.
Reservation Bill. अपना है। आपने कई बार लिखा भी था मोदी सरकार। मैडम, महिला आरक्षण बिल आ रहा है संसद में, ऐसा कहा जा रहा है। मैडम आपकी मांग थी। मैडम, महिला आरक्षण रिजर्वेशन बिल अपना है। आपने कई बार लिखा भी था मोदी सरकार। मैडम, महिला आरक्षण बिल आ रहा है संसद में, ऐसा कहा जा रहा है। मैडम आपकी मांग थी। मैडम, महिला आरक्षण रिजर्वेशन बिल।
So KC Venugopal there reminding Sonia Gandhi, who did not want to actually respond to the waiting media, and they said it's our bill, and she says it's ours on the women's reservation bill. Apna Hai is what she said as she walked in. Perhaps one of the last times that they will all be walking into this Parliament. A big transition for a lot of them. Pallavi, Arunima, Aman, Pallavi, so Sonia Gandhi, once perhaps a cynosure, the fulcrum of everything that happened for a long time within Parliament, today finds herself, vying to get back into relevance and trying to goad the entire group. And there are a lot of veterans within the Congress party who still look to her, turn to her to see what should be the next step. And her growth itself has happened over so many decades in Parliament as a parliamentarian.
Well, there were a couple of bills which were really her dream bill, and a women's reservation bill, the food security bill were her dream bills. And I remember I had spoken to her in 2010 when this bill was cleared in Rajya Sabha. It was a mixed feeling, because I remember in that interview to me, she did mention the fact that she doesn't understand why Mamata Banerjee had abstained from it, why there are some within her own party had objected to the bill, by the RJD, the Samajwadi Party. I think the perils and the pressures of being in an alliance, I think for the first time ever, if anyone understood that in politics, it was Sonia Gandhi. A sense of frustration I certainly noticed in her, because that was the peril and pressure of alliance politics, which is why this bill could never ever see the light of the day in Lok Sabha. And I think in that sense, the BJP is likely to be luckier. Of course, there's going to be a tweaking on the bill. It's likely to be a newer bill. Maybe the old bill will be withdrawn, but the bill is alive because it has been passed in Rajya Sabha. But I think the messaging which the Prime Minister will also make is, we are not going to succumb under any pressure of alliance. We are going to ensure that the bill is passed. If there's a will, there is a way. But yes, Sonia Gandhi, for her, it was a motive moment. I remember, the credit goes to Rajiv Gandhi for women reservation as far as Panchayat is concerned. So Rajiv Gandhi's dream was also to have a similar reservation as far as legislative assemblies, as far as Lok Sabha Parliament is concerned.
Right.
And therefore, for her, it was a fulfillment. I mean, she was a very emotional that day. I remember when the bill was cleared, and at last, that emotion was accompanied by with a lot of frustration that she could not get the women reservation bill. And I think it comes out in that very brief soundbite when she turns around and tells, in that rare interaction with the media now, that it is our bill. It
Yes.
Apna bill hai.
Apna bill hai, it's ours is what you say. Yes, Arunima.
From there.
Yes, Arunima.
I just wanted to take it from there because we don't really know कि ये अपना bill है कि नहीं है. Is this the same bill that we saw the UPA bring in, or is this a new bill that is going to be tweaked? Because there is a lot of talk, and what was the objection of parties like Samajwadi Party, BSP, RJD? They wanted a sub quota. So within a gender quota, they wanted a caste sub quota. Will the Modi government make provision, because OBC constituency is also a constituency that the BJP is looking at very closely. So is this the same bill, or will we see
Arunima,
some
the simple
tweaking,
aspect
some
is that
provisions
should
to
we
be made for the caste as well?
should we even look at a sub quota per se like that, or should the simple understanding be that there is 33% reservation across all the classifications currently there? So irrespective of whether it's a SC/ST quota, if it's a reserved seat, however it is, whatever be the seat, there has to be a 33% reservation for whichever caste community that seat is reserved to, because backward classes include both men and women. So it's just a simple understanding of this, and it could be done on a rotation basis, that the constituencies could keep rotating rather than being permanently situated. So that's another way of looking at it, rather than saying quota ke andar quota plus sub quota, etc. It's just that across the board, whatever classifications are on, and that is another way perhaps the government can also present it, saying what we have done is that we have secured 33% reservation for women across the board. That's all.
Absolutely. See, as Pallavi was saying, Anand, that the UPA couldn't push the bill due to coalition compulsions. It could not convince its own party members, it could not convince the SP and the RJD. Now the Modi government is clearly saying that, look, this is a full majority government, we've been able to bring all parties on board. When it comes to changes in the bill, as we're saying, will it be a upgraded, comprehensive version of the UPA bill? There are 2-3 elements there. First element is that the UPA's bill only covered the Lok Sabha and the legislative assemblies. It did not cover the Rajya Sabha and the legislative councils. So there is a lot of talk that will the BJP now make it a comprehensive bill also covering the Rajya Sabha and the legislative councils in states. Second point is that the earlier UPA bill said that out of the SC/ST seats in parliament, 33% of them will be reserved for SC/ST women candidates. Will the BJP also include the OBC candidates in that and reflect the OBCs also in that? That is the second point which is being talked about. And will that be different? And of course, the third point is that will this bill, if it is passed in the current session of parliament, become a reality on the ground? Some people say it could be 2024 Lok Sabha. That is why the government is bringing it now, because it wants to change the politics in 2024. The other the other theory is that because delimitation is scheduled for 2026, this could happen actually after 2026, and we could see the first election in 2029 when 33% women reservation is rolled out. We have to wait for the final draft of the bill and the fine
in
print
this
of the bill
current
once
scenario
we get
with
it,
6
to know
months
more
to go,
about it.
6 months to go for Lok Sabha 2024, most of the parties would not even have candidates, appropriate candidates. Last we want is the case of a Sarpanch Pati syndrome becoming a Vidhayak Pati and a Sansad Pati kind of a syndrome, where the proxy, the wife is or the spouse or the daughter, however, or the mother is made the proxy, or somebody in the family, sister is made the proxy, and it's somebody else who's actually running, and it's a male of the person, the original candidate who's actually running, calling the shots. We don't want situations like that. So that also has to be thought through. Quickly.